Hello and a very, very good morning to all our Sports Today family members. And we are building up for the third ODI between India and New Zealand at the Hagley Oval in Christchurch. Remember, New Zealand are currently leading 1-0 in the series. After winning in Auckland, the second ODI in Hamilton was washed off due to persistent heavy rain. And the situation is not different in the third ODI at Hagley Oval. The toss has been delayed due to rain. But the good news that seems to be coming out of the Hagley Oval is that most of it's just a drizzle at this point in time. And all the cover seems to have come off. And now we will probably be seeing action in the next 5 to 10 minutes because remember, ever since the start of the day, Hagley Oval has seen a bit of sunshine, but towards the fag end, there has been a deterioration in the weather there. So there is rain and incessant rain predicted from 2 p.m. local time onwards, and we are in that zone at this point in time. The toss has been delayed at the Hagley Oval, but we feel that in the next 10 to 15 minutes, with all the covers going off, perhaps we will see some action. Remember, this series has been a very damn squib when you have to look at it. India versus New Zealand. The first T20I was washed off due to rain. The second match was won by India. The third match was impacted by rain. The India innings in particular, the game was impacted. India luckily ended up with a tie. So the ODIs have followed the same pattern. 1-0, New Zealand are leading. They won in Auckland by chasing 300 plus. But at the same time, the game in Hamilton was washed off due to persistent heavy rain. After that, the problem in the Hagley Oval match is that there is rain predicted. We could have a lot of stop and start action today. It'll be very interesting to see what Shikhar Dhawan does in the toss because if you have to look at it now, perhaps a very warm welcome to all our Sports Today family members. It's a very, very gloomy morning from India. Yes, breaking news that we are just waking up to. If you're wanting to know what has happened with the toss at the third ODI between India and New Zealand, well, the latest update is that the toss has been delayed due to rain. But then, if you have to look at it, the covers are all off and we might see some action in the coming couple of minutes because the rain is not that heavy in Christchurch at this point in time. At the start of the day, there was some rain. There was a drizzle prior to the start of the match. The bowler run ups, also the pitch was covered, but the rain has eased off. The drizzle has eased off. There is no rain at this point in time. So the toss could happen in the next 10 to 15 minutes. That is the latest update that we are getting. Remember, no overs have yet been lost. Remember, the series is 1-0 in favor of New Zealand. New Zealand having won the first ODI by 7 wickets in their chase of 300. But the second ODI in Hamilton saw only 12.5 overs and the game was washed off. Will Shikhar Dhawan make any kind of changes to the playing 11 or will they persist with the same team that played in Hamilton? Because remember, They made two changes in Hamilton. Shardul Thakur was ruled out, and in his place, Deepak Huda came in. And remember, they played three spinners in that Hamilton wicket. Of course, the Indian bowling did not come up because the match was rained out. So that is why it is. It will be very interesting to see what's going to happen. However, prior to the start of the match, the host broadcasters did an interview with Rishabh Pant. And Rishabh Pant had some very, very interesting things to say. And I would choose to bat in the top order in T20Is, 4 and 5 in ODIs, and test I'm batting at 5. Yes, the game plan changes when you are batting lower down the order. I am not looking at my numbers. Yes, my T20I numbers are not great, but I'm still 24 and there's no time to compare. The keeping drills are the same. There is no downtime. I'm going straight to Bangladesh from here. This is a very, very interesting thing that Rishabh Pant has said because remember, the Sanju Samson versus Rishabh Pant debate continues even today in Indian cricket. How long a rope can you give Rishabh Pant? How long can you give a rope to Sanju Samson? Remember, it was Sanju Samson who sat out so that India could play six bowlers. The experiment, whether it would be successful or unsuccessful, just did not happen because the rain didn't happen. Will Rishabh Pant get a longer rope in ODIs and T20? See, in T20Is, he's endured a miserable 2022. He got chances, but he did not capitalize on the chances with the match. Sanju Samson, on the other hand, has had a very, very middling white ball career. When you look at it, 7 years, even he's been wanting chances. However, in 2022, Sanju Samson has been really, really good. In the South Africa series, you look at it in Ireland, you look at it in Zimbabwe, Sanju Samson has delivered the goods when needed. So that is the way we are looking at it. Rishabh Pant is 24. Samson is slightly older than Rishabh Pant. Who do you back more? That is the thing. India have a tightrope when it comes to Sanju Samson and Rishabh Pant. What are you going to do with them? Who gets the long, consistent rope? It's not an easy answer. There is no easy answer to the Sanju Samson and Rishabh Pant debate. Any side that you take, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. That is the way how it is. Cricket analysis by RV, as I said, he's just 24. He wants to play top world, but he has a don't remember he has played so many matches. How many more he needs? Again, cricket analysis by RV, same problem that every Indian cricket fan is suffering. Who decides and what decides which player gets the maximum number of games and one doesn't get the minimum number of games? I think in the case of Sanju Samson and Rishabh Pant, numbers now are not going to play a role. It is on instinct and team composition. That is the way. SS, I wish discuss something new. But many Indian cricket team fans do not want to look beyond Sanju Samson and Rishabh Pant. Agree, believe it, really believe it. And basically, look, the problem what has happened is that in this series, you essentially had only two and a half full games. The first ODI, the first T20I was washed off. The second match saw India win. The third match was a tie because rain interrupted the second innings. Auckland ODI, New Zealand won comfortably. And at the same time, the second ODI was washed off. One hopes that the weather stays away in Christchurch because we would want a full game. We are fed up of the rain that has happened. So that is the way we are looking at it. And who else? Yes, thank you, people. Good morning to even you both also. And I just wish that people just do not. I just wish that people do not spammers like railway announcers. Once you get the message, great. Second, Just don't keep on pushing messages in that way. Chandresh Narayan, good morning, Chandresh. Well, I am going on a break for 3 days though for a special function. So 3 days after the end of the ODI series, I am taking a break. So point noted. And oh boy, the toss has happened, and New Zealand have chosen to bowl. That is the latest update that we have got. New Zealand have chosen to bowl. Yes, that is the latest update that we have, that New Zealand have chosen to bowl. And what are the changes? There are no changes. It is the same team that played in the Auckland, that played in the Hamilton match. Shikhar Dhawan, Shubman Gill, Rishabh Pant, Shreyas Iyer, Suryakumar Yadav, Deepak Hooda, Washington Sundar, Deepak Chahar, Umran Malik, Arshdeep Singh, Yajuvendra Chahal. That is the latest update that we have, is that New Zealand have chosen to bowl, and there is no change in the Indian cricket team that was picked for the Hamilton ODI. It is the same. That is the latest update we have. Oh boy, so nothing much. We were expecting that this will happen on those, because you cannot drop any player on the basis of a washout. Why would you want to once again change the team composition just to accommodate some players? So that is the latest situation. So people who are joining us, our family members who are joining us right now, the latest update is that New Zealand have chosen to bowl, and there are no changes in the Indian cricket team. The same 11 that was picked in Hamilton is playing in Christchurch. Shardul Thakur still has not recovered from that back injury that he sustained. So that, so there we have it, folks. There we have it. That is the latest update that we have from the Hagley Oval, that New Zealand have chosen to bowl, and there are no changes in the Indian cricket team. So the team is Shikhar Dhawan and Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, Suryakumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Washington Sundar. Then you have Deepak Hooda and Deepak Chahar, followed by Yajuvendra Chahal, Umran Malik, Arshdeep Singh. That is your playing 11 for the Indian cricket team. If we have to look at what is the situation when we are looking at New Zealand, well, it's the same team even for them as well. Finn Allen, Devin Conway, Kane Williamson, Daryl Mitchell, Tom Latham, Glenn Phillips, Mitchell Santner, Adam Milne. Okay, Milne's back. That is the only change. I stand corrected. Milne is back. And you have Matt Henry, Tim Southey, Lockie Ferguson. So they have boosted, they have reboosted their pace bowling in that way. So that is the latest update that we have from the Hagley Oval, and that is New Zealand have chosen to bowl, and India have not made any changes from from the playing 11 that they picked in Hamilton. Three spinners and three pacers. They are going with that six bowler combination. But three spinners, that seems to be a very, what if I can say, very surprising thing. When was the last time you remember in India playing three spinners in overseas conditions, especially in a white ball game? Very surprising. Yash Roy, what happens if one fails in this match? Nothing's going to happen, Yash. He is going to Bangladesh. He will play in Bangladesh because Sanju Samson is not there. That is the worst part. Sanju Samson is not there for that match, for that series itself. So, what are you going to do? That is the thing. So, Rishabh Pant will get an extended run from this series onwards, because remember, India played three ODIs and they played two tests against Bangladesh after the end of the New Zealand series. And so it is very, very important to understand that Rishabh Pant will now get an opportunity right until the Bangladesh series. That is how we are looking at it. And for people who are joining us now early in the morning in India, breaking news: the third and final ODI at the Hagley Oval in Christchurch was the toss was delayed for 15 minutes because of overnight rain, and there was rain prior to the start. The ground was covered, and we felt that we could have a lengthy delay. But remember, even the drainage facility at the Hagley Oval is slightly better, so that is why the vigilance of the ground staff ensured that there was not much of a delay when it came to this match. Within 15 minutes after the scheduled time, the covers were all off. The rain luckily stopped. But remember, the rest of the day, the weather does not look that promising. Towards the later half of the evening, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, we could see heavier showers. One hopes that does not happen and the rain threat diminishes. And that is why, if you're if you're saying this is the situation that is currently happening. Now, New Zealand have chosen to bowl and they made one change. Kane Williamson announced that Michael Bracewell was sitting out and Adam Mills. And the Indian cricket team, three pacers and three spinners. Deepak Huda, Washington Sundar, Yashvendra Chahela, your spinners. Deepak Chahar, Umran Malik, Arshdeep Singh. These are your three pacers. The batting order remains to be Shikhar Dhawan, Shubman Gill, Suryakumar Yadav, Shreyas Iyer, and Rishabh Pant, your designated keeper. And India will lose because Sky Rishabh Shreyas Huda is not performing well. Middle order is not performing. Neil Dimar. But Shreyas has been your go-to player in this ODI series. It was Shreyas Iyer and his partnership with Sanju Samson of 94 that ensured India got to a total in excess of 300. Washington Sundar's cameo as well. Huda, yes, I mean, he's hardly gotten chances. After the West Indies series, how many times has Deepak Huda gotten a consistent run? Hardly any. Sky surprisingly has underwhelmed in ODIs. I'm surprised considering his prowess in white ball in T20I. It's very surprising to see him struggle in ODIs, but you got a glimpse of what Suryakumar Yadav could do in the second ODI in Hamilton. Apart from that, Shikhar Dhawan hit a 50. Shubman Gill has looked pretty consistent. So our batting, there seems to be less issues. And remember, our A-listers are back for the Bangladesh series. KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, they're all back. Hardik Pandya is still not back, so maybe he'll be back from the January series when I think Sri Lanka are slated to come to India for a series. And so that is the current situation. Will we see India come out with intent? And what is the score? I wish batting had scored 350 each match in ODI here to make it a habit. Well, 350 seems to be the new par total when it comes to ODIs. The new age ODIs, we have to ensure that at least 350 is the par total because 350. But with the batting that we have at our disposal, we can make 350, and that on Indian conditions, it could become the norm that India scores 350. The batting is there, but what about the bowling? Remember, Jasprit Bumrah could be back in January because he wasn't picked for any of the series from the T20 World Cup until now because he's not yet recovered from injury. That is the current situation that we're facing. But on the other hand, he either goes bang bang or gets out defending. Shreyas is lucky on Neil Dimar saying, "Oh, Yash Roy. Yash Roy, I think I missed who were you talking. Sky can't seem to find a batting tempo for ODIs. That's what I said. Very surprising for Sky. Why can't he get that tempo in? Because for this format, he can take his time and then go bang bang, which will make him totally mind blowing to say the least. Surya is, I think he is one of your assured players in that playing 11, if you're looking at the 2023 ODI World Cup, I know it's still a year remaining, but I think you would want to finalize some slots. As I have said, the batting may not be an issue. The problem I see is the bowling. What is going to be your team combination? How flexible and how stable is your team composition? That is the key here. And that is the situation at this point in time. So, for people who are joining us, what is the situation of Jadeja? When will he return? Well, Jadeja could return in January. That is the because he's still recovering from his knee injury that he sustained in the Asia Cup. He's still recovering. The recovery process is a bit slow, but he is making good progress. And let's see what happens. Why mixing formats for Sky, not for Pant, Mr. Raj? Okay, Mr. Raj, there is a clear cut indication that we all tend to mix formats looking at broader form. Okay, Pant is playing all three formats. Tests, he's been excellent. ODIs in 2022, he's been decent. ODIs. But in T20Is, he struggled. We all say Pant has gotten so many chances in T20Is. Why is he being persistent in ODIs? Aren't we all doing that? Aren't we all mixing formats? Sky, even also, I mean, Sky has played just two formats. Where is the question of mixing in all this? Because he is playing the ODIs, isn't he? Isn't Surya Kumar Yadav playing the ODIs? T20I form sometimes can come into ODI form. That is the hope that we have. Because you do look at some formats. You do look at some formats and then you say, okay, perhaps this player can come back to form in a big way. No one is mixing formats. But oh yeah, if you say that on the basis of a T20I format, he's the greatest ODI player, then that is taking it a bit too far. We never do that. So then what is the other? Paul Burgess. It's too harsh to do a Sanju Samson. Hope he gets longer. Sri Lanka and New Zealand series happens to be in January. Hope Pant will have a rest. Paul Burgess, we hope that there is stability in the team. As simple as that. I hope that there is stability in the team. You know who are your players. You know your core much before. But looking at the rotation and the open door policy that the Indian cricket team has, where they are spoiled for a lot of choices, you know it and I know it. The Indian team must learn from the mistakes of 2021 and 2022, and that is play with the settled core. Do not go for too much of experimentation or do not go for too much of rotation. This is what has happened, and that is why I just cannot. I find it very confusing to pick this Indian cricket team. Who do you pick? Because there are so many options. That's the problem. And when after many years, we need to change. 2020 World Cup is last chance for the score of Team India cricket analysis. Yes, but then you are also tasked with the problem that you have to build your team for upcoming years also. Remember, 2023 is just one event. Every year, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 8 years, you have 8 ICC events. Every year is an ICC event. How will you build upon that? That is the most important thing. You have to play with this time, with this score. But what about the other events in the coming years? You'll have to build your team even for that. That is where, that is where I have a feeling this selection committee, the board, that will be challenged. I had said one thing that resource management and player management will be the key for the BCCI. In 2021 and 2022, they have failed. The BCCI have failed. Too much of rotation, too much of experimentation. And that's why you've seen that we have not won an ICC event in 2021 and 2022. Huda has not performed as a batter. Also, number 6 we have very less chance to succeed as a batsman. Neil Dimar, well, see, he's not had a good time in T20Is, but in the ODIs that he played in the West Indies series, he performed decent. He performed all right with the bat and with the ball. So, as I said, give someone along consistent route. That's what I would say. It's too okay. Then if Pant again fails, Paul Varghese in Bangla, then definitely we should go forward with other orders. Too many chances. Well, I hope that he succeeds and puts this entire thing of chances and other players to rest. I just hope he succeeds. But if he doesn't succeed, definitely he has to make me. Pant knows that. He acknowledged in the interview that he gave to the host broadcaster that yes, I know I have not done well in T20Is, but I do have time on my side, and that's why I hope to really, really do well. So we are still waiting for the first ball to be bowled. I think because the toss was delayed, we may have a slight delay when it comes to the action. So right now it's cloudy. There is not much rain. The drizzle has stayed away, and so that is the situation at this point in time. The match will start at 240 minutes into at 240 local. So the match will begin at in about 10 minutes time. Yes, 7:10 p.m. 7:10 a.m. India Standard Time, 7:10 a.m. IST. The game will begin. So we have about 10 minutes to go for the first ball to be bowled. And we hope that India can reach a total of 350. And we also hope that the rain stays away. Cricket analysis by RV, that is not going to, that can't happen. A selector, you need to be from the country in that sense. And Vijay Shankar, you wanna be? No, I completely disagree. Prove it. That's what I will say. Prove it. And I would say I would tell people to not spam because one message I try and ensure that I read the message, but if you keep on spamming, I will miss it. So I just hope once it's just sent once. I just hope so. And that's the way it is. So in 10 minutes time at 7:10 a.m. IST, we will see the action that you will see action happen at the Hagley Oval. Remember, India have not had a good time at the Hagley Oval when they last visited. In 2020, they lost the test match pretty badly. They lost by 8 wickets in 2020, and it was the start of Virat Kohli's Virat Kohli's downturn. So, Pradeep Srivalsan, hope we get a game today. I hope it is. We do get a game. I just hope that rain doesn't play spoil sport. 9 players from this New Zealand aren't there in the Bangladesh. So now all on prayers for these 9. Okay. Sky is your pick for final four of this World Cup. Which World Cup? The FIFA World Cup. Well, I'll discuss FIFA World Cup on a different video. This is a cricket this thing. I will discuss FIFA when I'm about to do a football video. So that is the situation. And any other, no, nothing else is there. And these are even interesting times if you have to say for New Zealand cricket also. Remember, Trent Bolt has opted out of a contract, a central contract. He will be playing for a lot of franchisee leagues. Whereas Avesh Khan, I think he's fallen down the pecking order after he fell in the Asia Cup, and I don't think the selectors are looking at him as a long-term prospect at this point in time. Pant won't be rested because he will lose his place if some other players perform well at that time. Abhijit Satyanarayanan, yes, maybe that is that fear which is driving Pant to play all formats, but that is also probably bogging him down. Let me be very clear about that. That is something that he is getting bogged down with. That fear of failure is playing on his mind in white ball cricket, and that's why he's not had that much of success. Although in 2022, he's had decent success in ODI cricket, but in T20Is, he's just been found wanting. Very surprising considering how Rishabh Pant's attacking prowess is. So that is the way it is. And we are just about 4 minutes away from the start of the match. When is Prasidh Krishna returning? Your guess is as good as mine, Aman Gupta. We don't know when is Prasidh Krishna returning because fast bowlers injuries take some time to heal, and that is why, let's see. Akash, morning, Akash. So, only match for Sanju. Yeah, Sanju stays out, and the Auckland match remains his only match that he's played. I hope UC keeps his motivation same for Kuldeep. These two guys should play World Cup 2023. I agree. If you look at the dugout yesterday, RV that we had, that even Vikrant sir, Nikhil, Rahul, and I were discussing, I did argue that the Kulcha duo could make a difference in 2023 on Indian conditions because their peak of domination during the 16, 17, 18 period at home, India succeeded primarily because the Kulcha duo were doing so well. So one hopes that the Kulcha duo can be confident and they can bowl a lot. That is the one thing that we hope for. And so that is the way it is. Bhuvi could have played the ODI instead of T20 Raghavendra, but I think Bhuvi finds no place in the ODI setup because you are looking at other options. And I think Arshdeep and Bumrah might be your two frontline pacers that you may want to lock in. And apart from that, if Prasid Krishna gets fitness, perhaps he'll be for that. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, unfortunately, I think he may not be featuring so much. So the players are rushing out onto the field, and we hope that action happens on a regular basis. Sir, is it true that Virat and Rohit will not play T20s more in 2023? Akash, I don't know. None of the players have openly said it that, oh, we don't want to play T20Is in 2023. But obviously now, with ODIs being the focus, the, the attention will be less for T20Is, remember. T20Is are important only in 2024. That is the way it is. So Pradeep, she was a 400 plus. 400 plus is a very, very thing. And if it will be good if you look at Shubman Gill's press conference, he said that, see, it is not possible to have 400 plus totals when you are playing every single time. It's not possible. It's not easy because look, England have a set game plan, but most of the time, if you look at 50-50, it's hit and miss, hit and miss. How many times has England, if you say the last 5 to 6 ODIs, how many times has England crossed 400? Hardly once or twice. Even in the India series, hardly. So, not possible. 400 plus is a very, very difficult total to attain. Yes, there are days when teams pull it off, and we have Nikhil also. Hi, Nikhil. Good morning.
Good morning. I had a lot of trouble today logging on to this StreamYard
Oh,
for some reason.
damn.
But
Because
anyway,
anyway, what happened was that the toss was delayed by 15 minutes. And as soon as I got the confirmation of the toss, I had sent you, but apparently technical issues, the perils of working from home are always there. That's why I used to dread working from home. What if there's a tech issue?
you were supposed to wake me up.
I did.
You
But then
did.
I saw your message that you were seen at 6:35. So I said, okay, you are awake. So I just pinged it to you.
Uh, I was. Because I got up to check
Yeah.
the weather and it says that the covers are on and things like that. So I thought, oh, it's going to be uh, some time. But
So the covers were on. So I decided to not wake you up. The covers were on. But within 5 minutes, the situation improved. They were taking the covers off, the rain had stopped, and play started.
yeah.
So,
So
no changes in the Indian cricket team as expected.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that, and I'm not surprised because on what
Yeah.
basis would you drop and pick anyone considering the last game didn't happen? Different conditions here.
Yep.
I see, and I was just seeing the match report. A lot of green grass there, so maybe there was a case in point to go in with another fast bowler, but that's
I
also
think
not happening.
Shardul is still not fit.
Shardul's not fit, yeah. Then that because
Yeah.
then if he's not fit, I think the balance then goes a bit awry. So you have to have two
Yep.
sort of all-rounders in Washi and Deepak Huda. That's why you've gone with them.
Yep.
The only other option they could have looked at is dropped a spinner, let's say Yuzi, and then brought in a fast bowler. But that again was
Yeah. New Zealand
something.
have done that. New Zealand have reinforced their pace attack. They got a Min Bracewell's out.
Bracewell's out. Oh, so again, that's surprising because you'd expect the local team to know the conditions slightly better. And if one team has done that, and I mean, history tells me that New Zealand tend to read conditions better than India. World Test Championship final, they played the right
Yes.
team. India did not. Once again, they dropped Bracewell, even though I mean, I remember Bracewell having a good series. Versus Pakistan, was it? He had a good series, and I think
The
he's in their plans for
tri
long
series
term
that was
ODI.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But all the action prior to the toss was on the interview that Rishabh Pant did with the host broadcasters. And he had some very, very interesting insights into that. So, Rishabh Pant, he said that I don't look at numbers. Yes, my T20 numbers are not great, but I am still 24 and there is no time to compare. There's just no time to compare.
yeah, uh, I it was an interesting interview. I think there were two interviews. There was one with VVS Lakshman as well,
Yes,
where he says
yes,
that Rishabh is pretty young and then he needs the backing. Secondly, Rishabh spelling out exactly what he wants to do. That is bat at the top of the order in T20Is and then middle order in ODIs. And he himself says that did he say something about his white ball form? If I'm not mistaken, saying I've not had a bad time in white ball cricket or something to that extent.
yes. He says that I don't look at numbers. Yes, my T20I numbers are not great, but there's no time to compare.
No time to compare, meaning what? What does that imply?
I mean, that is what he said. I'm still 24. I'm still 24, and
Yeah,
there's no time to compare.
no, he's right. I mean, in that sense that he's still young. He has the best years ahead of him. Uh, no time to compare. Uh, does he mean compare T20I and ODS? Is that
Yes,
what
yes,
he's
yes, yes.
which is right. See, again, two different formats. And I think that's the mistake that we've been making when you were trying to play one format like the other. And then once we're in a situation where saying, why not have different teams for different formats, even if it's white ball?
Yeah,
Then maybe he's right. I think his T20 form um, has left a lot to be desired, but not so his ODI form. But
yep,
see, that's see again. Rishabh's not alone in that, and he needs to realize that sometime there is a spillover in terms of your form. So, for example, Rishabh has also benefited from the fact that he's done well in Test cricket, and that is spilled over into white ball cricket, where he's got a slightly longer rope than the others because he's done well in one format. By that same logic, if he was to be dropped, let's say after a couple more bad performances in ODI, well, he then can't say that I've had a very short run in ODI because then that there will be a spillover from his T20 performances, and that's bound to happen. So if you're going to reap the benefits of that, then you will also have to deal with the negatives that come with it. And I think that might be the case. I think he's. Uh, I mean, it's all very well for the standing coach to say that we need to support him. And by the way, the Indian team has been doing that, but I think that number of chances are now reaching a dead end of sorts, and there are people waiting.
yep.
I'm just waiting to see how long will it take for anything related to Sanju Samson to trend on social media. I'm sure it must have already started.
It's already started. If you just have to look at our comments section to understand that Sanju, I mean, sympathy card and all these things, victim card, all those allegations are flying very high at Rishabh Pant.
Yeah, RV
Why
is
do you
saying.
have to
RV
conveniently
is
mix formats and all that?
yeah. No, RV is saying that
Ah,
the
yes, cricket analyst. Yeah, fun playing
I don't
sympathy card.
think
Yeah,
there is any sympathy for anyone. I mean, let me just tell you. Uh, excuse me. Indian cricket. that way doesn't have too much sympathy actually. Big players have realized it. Take Virat Kohli for example.
Yeah.
Wanted to
Captaincy.
continue. Yeah, wanted to
Yeah.
continue as captain in ODIs. He let T20 cricket go. Wanted to continue in ODIs. And what happened? There wasn't much sympathy there. So if it can happen to Virat Kohli, it can happen to anybody. So I don't think there is any sympathy. I think there is merit in the fact that you've kept him. And I'm not going to say like Yash is saying it's not sympathy, it's bias. I do not even agree with that because I think we've given some sort of reasons why the Indian team in the past discussions, and there's no point reiterating the same thing again and again. Why he's got this rope or why they've continued with him. Having said that, those chances are probably reaching an exhaustion point where they'll stop coming if he doesn't fire after some time.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Pant himself is responsible for all the noise that is happening because very inconsistent in T20Is. But again, conveniently, they have mixed it up with ODIs, whereas he had decentish year, very decent year in ODIs. So I don't know. I just hope that he
Abhijit,
performs in this ODI and the three ODIs against Bangladesh.
yeah, Abhijit Satyanarayan is saying that I think he spoke about the comparison in respect to stats with other players and not so much
Yeah,
the form.
yeah. There is that backing for Sanju.
No,
You asked it, you got
exactly.
it.
But he's saying no point in comparison. I don't know how to take it. If he did indeed mean stats, then there are two ways of looking at it. For him,
Yep.
not comparing, it's understandable. Like if you ask him that, oh, do you look at other people's stat, and he says there's no point comparing. I understand that because all you need to do is focus on yourself, what you can do, and not focus on what others are doing. So if he said it in that, because I need to hear it to understand in what context. But if he said it in that context, then that's understandable. But if he's saying that no, from the outside or for team selection, you should not be comparing stat, I don't think that would be ideal. That is bound to happen. People will look at and compare stats and then pick A player or drop B player. That is bound to happen. But I have a feeling he may have said no point comparing in terms of how he looks at it. That
Yep.
he doesn't like to compare or see what happens. By the way, just wanted to, I mean, uh, talk about the toss. It feels like as if it's like that Sholay wala coin going up. New Zealand knowing exactly what is going to happen.
Yeah.
All
Heads I
tosses,
win, tails you lose.
all tosses you've lost once again
Yes, 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 yes. That
because
is what
the
is happening.
record here at Hagley Oval skewed in favor of team chasing. So that
Yep.
and uh, this is like their fortress, their Gaba for
Oh
New Zealand.
man.
They won 10 and lost one ODI, I think, out of the 11 played here. Won 10, lost only one. So
Yep.
overwhelming in favor of New Zealand. So
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And the last time India played a test match here, they got hammered by 8 wickets in 2020.
yeah.
That was the first series was which Virat Kohli started becoming mortal. That was that first series. And that
Mhm.
2 year prolonged agony that we all went through, 1,000+ days,
Yeah.
started from there.
Uh,
So hopefully,
Nikhil is saying problem is that even after failing today, Pant will be playing against Bangladesh, and even if he scores a game against Bangladesh, he will get another 50 matches. So no more games to Sanju. Uh, One point he makes, I think, valid because Sanju is not part of the squad
no,
to
he's not part.
Bangladesh, so
Yeah.
he's not. Which means Pant will get a few more chances there. And I don't think that if he gets another 50 there or whatever, one big score there, he'll get another 50 matches. I don't think that's happening. See,
Yep.
again, we are also critical when someone is not given an extended run or a long rope. And I think they've done that in Pant. Clearly, they see something that is there. And no denying, I mean, he has in the past done things that uh, have been out of the ordinary, out of the normal, which have been outstanding in mostly in Test cricket and a few times in ODI cricket as well. May not have been in T20 eyes recently. In T20 also, I remember,
Yep.
you know, a young Rishabh Pant in the IPL played some of the most breathtaking knocks that you've seen. But I agree, like you can't keep living on those past glories, and for how long will
Yep.
you do that? So I again he's going to be there in Bangladesh. So be it. But as we've been saying, that rope ending or the number of chances that he's supposed to get, when do they finish? There's no deadline as such. But maybe not a great series in Bangladesh could really be the death knell for him in white ball cricket. Of course, he'll be a number one choice in Test cricket, no denying that. But in white ball cricket, could be. So as for
Yep.
Sanju, what I would want from the team is that you've got about 20 odd ODIs. I hope that the selection committee now that comes in slightly better than the one. There was a bit of confusion: who's there, who's not there, what the future is, what is going to happen after India's debacle at the T20 World Cup. I think all of that is clear now. With the selection committee, all I would want is that if Sanju is that guy who's the backup wicket keeper and a middle order batsman, so keep him in the series going forward, every ODI series. And
Indeed.
yeah, if Punt doesn't fire, he plays at least 10, 12, 15 ODI matches before that. And then maybe you could really take a call on who is your number one wicket keeper batsman.
Indeed.
Uh,
So
And no
one
place
hopes
for
that
Kuldeep,
India.
by the way. We keep talking
Hmm?
about Sanju Samson. Sanju still got a game. Kuldeep Yadav was in the squad for the T20Is, didn't get a game. Was in the squad for
ODI
ODIs,
also.
hasn't got a game. So
I
that.
know what wrong did Kuldeep do? That's what I'm wondering. What wrong did
Yeah.
Kuldeep do?
But
And what wrong did Chahal do that he didn't get a game in the T20 World Cup?
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's done and dusted. We discussed enough of it.
Yeah.
That was really surprising. Maybe they
Two
compensated
months
for the fact
long.
that he did play the games in T20, and they're compensating and giving him enough game UG here in New Zealand, excuse me.
Yeah.
But then that means Kuldeep doesn't get a game, and then Kuldeep again is not in the Bangladesh tour, so he doesn't get
Yep.
again. Again, I don't know. Is that an indication that once the regulars are back, they may not be in the scheme of things? But then, who is your backup spinner and who is your backup wicket keeper? It's a question worth asking the Indian team.
Indeed. 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 What started on October 6th is finally ending on November 30th. 2 months. Who would have thought?
Yeah,
Mhm. They embarked on that tour down under
not
on
all,
October 6th.
not all.
Ah, fair majority of them.
How many? Five of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah,
There's Deepak
fun.
Huda, Pant, Yuzi Chahal, uh, who else? Surya Kumar,
Surya Kumar.
yeah,
Shreyas was the
and,
result.
Shardul Thakur because he was the reserve,
Yep.
and
Hardik in the T20 is also Hardik was there.
yeah, but he's back. So I'm saying the
Yeah.
only ones who will be coming now, five, I
Yep.
think.
5. But still 2 months.
Oh,
And
Arshdeep, six. Sorry,
Arshdeep,
Arshdeep.
6.
Yeah, there is Arshdeep.
I know. So New Zealand,
Bhuvi and Hardik, but they've come back. So
they have come back. Yeah. 15 for no loss in 3 overs, and Shikhar Dhawan has hit 14 of the 15 runs. Wow.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
surprising.
dance down the wicket and hit it out of the park also.
Yeah, I know. 60 because Tim Saudi, man.
Yep, to Saudi.
In, indeed, indeed, indeed. So I just pray that the rain stays away and we get a
Yes.
game because we only had 2.5 games in this entire tour. And one, thankfully, by the grace of Rahul Rawat. Thankfully.
Yeah. So decent side boundaries, huh? 80 meters straight boundary, 82 one side. So good boundary,
This
depending
is
on which
one of
end
the
you're batting from.
only.
So if you're batting from one end, it's
Hmm,
about 80, 81, 82. The other end is
yes.
about 60, 62. So uh, depending when the sides change, which side you're going to be batting.
Yep. One of the few only cricket grounds in New Zealand. Now, rest of the all grounds that you look at, Napier or Auckland, they're all rugby grounds. Come
Yep.
cricket grounds.
Yeah,
Hagley Oval is exclusively a cricket ground. That is the
cricket.
one good thing with them.
That's true. It was being constructed when I went in 2009. Wasn't ready then.
Oh, yeah. I think after that, I think the 11 earthquake ensured that Jade
Yes.
Stadium could never be used.
Yes.
Yeah. That was the worst part of it. Yeah.
Yes.
Great memories from Jade Stadium.
Beautiful ground. The
Yeah.
great memories of Sachin Tendulkar's
163.
163.
He could
Yeah.
have gotten a 200 had he not suffered
Oh,
that
yeah,
stomach
yeah.
muscle pull.
Stomach. Yeah. That's
But
very,
New
very
Zealand
short.
almost is it.
It
Yeah.
had very short boundaries, I remember. I was there at the ground. Very, very small
Wow.
short boundaries.
My favorite memory is Nathan Astle 222 at that ground.
Oh, yes.
Every shot was like a bullet shot
Yeah.
right down the middle of the bat.
He was a man possessed that day.
Indeed. And one of my most favorite cricketers in that list.
You were a New Zealand fanboy.
Providence. All of my first games when it had to look at first ODI, what did I watch on TV? First ODI, what did I watch in India? It was all New Zealand. India, New Zealand 1995. New Zealand, Australia 1992, the World Cup. That was my first ever game that I watched as a kid.
Mm. What happened at the World Cup games? I couldn't see the late night games.
Okay, the late night games is England have topped the group by thrashing Wales 3-0. And in a very, yeah, Rashford was the star. And US have joined England in that group in the round of 16. They beat Iran 1-0.
Mm.
Yeah. And there will be an interesting shot up on the Sports Today soon about the player because when he scored the goal, it was bittersweet. What you have to subscribe to Sports Today and see it.
Ah.
Yes. So the US will face
Poland,
Netherlands in the round
Argentina
of
today.
16.
Poland, Argentina.
Very important game.
Coming
Very
up.
important. Because if they draw the game, then it will be a repeat of 2018 where they'll face France in the round of 16.
But they,
Provided Saudi Arabia lose.
yes, that's something. Drawing also um, doesn't
Guarantee.
guarantee them. The safest thing
Yep.
for Argentina to do would be to win. With a draw, they could
Yeah.
go through because they have a better goal difference. But
Yep.
provided the other game also is a draw or Saudi loses. Yeah.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia, they have to blame only themselves for that loss to Poland. So two games today, very, very important.
All
Man,
four
especially
teams
for
of that group
Argentina.
can qualify. All four. Even
Yes,
Mexico will qualify if they win.
yes. Even that's going to be up soon. The permutations and combinations as to what Messi needs to do
Uh,
to qualify.
I think the only advantage they have right now is a better goal difference, so they're sitting pretty there. But all four teams can go through in that group, so very exciting group.
Yep.
So I
Saudi
think
Arabia versus Mexico, Poland versus Argentina.
yeah, it's all hotting up.
Yeah, and this is the last. This is 30th. One, two, three. 3 more days of league stage, and then you're suddenly into the round of 16. The
Yeah,
knockouts begin.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
And have you told our family members of a special plan that you're going to do, or it's you'll only tell it to them once
no,
you
we've already told them that once it starts, then I'll be joining them from Doha in Qatar.
Mumbai and Qatar? Yeah. Germany too on the verge of exit. Yes. Germany take on Costa Rica and Spain take on Japan. Very
Uh,
important game. If Spain win, they go through. If Germany lose or a draw, they're out
out.
because they just have 1 point.
Yeah, but their games are not today, right? That's later.
No. It's on first.
Yeah.
So, but the Seleção are in. That's the best news that's there.
Today you're logged in by two cameras. Huh? Your phone also you're logged in, and you're logged in from your laptop or something.
Yes, because I have to see the scorecard. And I don't know if I try and open StreamYard on the phone here, it just does not work. Technical issue. I just can't add people on the stream or I can't change anything. That's some strange bug.
Yeah.
So,
You
plus
log
I'm
in.
also watching the match on the subscription thing. No,
Yeah.
so,
So top four picks. Akash has picked Spain, France, Argentina, and Brazil. Is picked. What is the most likely final according to the Nielsen report?
Brazil
Wait a
versus
minute.
France.
But don't give all details. If they want to find out the details, they'll have to go and see the.
You have to check out the video that we have done.
Yeah.
And who's going to win? Anybody's guess. Personally, if it's Brazil France, I would pick Brazil. Sentimental favorite.
Mm,
Yeah, but if it is Spain Brazil, I will pick Spain.
Spain.
Yes,
Chalo
that's the
then.
way it is.
Have a good game.
Yep, we'll be
RVS
back for
picked
the mid
England. RVS picked England. Is it finally
England.
coming home?
It's going to Rome. Whatever. It's not coming home. England.
Not even going to Rome. Italy aren't even there. So.
Yeah, they aren't even there. Yep, that's the saddest part. But yeah, England is also looking very, very good. But this is where
Akash is
they're
going for Argentina.
ah, that'll be awesome. See, Brazil versus Argentina or Argentina versus Portugal or Argentina France. These three games are mind blowing
Mm.
indeed. And if Argentina finished second in the group, oh boy, then Mbappe versus Messi in the round of 16
Once again, last
once
time too.
again. Yep, 4-3. What a thriller that was.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Okay, so we will be back for the
Okay.
mid inning,
Yep.
and FIFA World Cup action will also be there, and we'll bring you all the updates. Thank you. Bye bye. Vanakkam. And press the like, comment, and share button for sports
Bye.
today. Bye.